We begin in Brunei, where new laws based on a strict interpretation of Islam go into effect today. The tiny country on the island of Borneo has captured a lot of global attention, not the good kind, for the punishments it intends to carry out. Thieves will have their limbs amputated. The new code would commit gay people caught having sex to death by stoning, and it would send lesbians caught having sex to 100 whips of the lash. The United Nations has called these laws draconian, but the Sultan defended them.
As a small nation, we always devote our prayers to Allah. This is driven by our national philosophy of Malay Islamic monarchy that has existed here for hundreds of years. This system preserves and guarantees the rights of all people, regardless of their race and faith.
As you can imagine, there's been global shock and outrage. Actor and activist George Clooney leveraged his fame and called for a boycott of luxury hotels, from the Dorchester in London to the Beverly Hills Hotel, all owned by Brunei's royal family. Its Sultan is one of the richest men on earth. The multi-billionaire gets his money from the country's gas and oil sales. And on social media, tweets expressed outrage along with a new hashtag, boycott Brunei. Columnist for Gay Times mag Tom Knight tweeted, "People all over the world have condemned these barbaric laws, but most world leaders appear to value gas, oil, luxury hotels, and investment portfolios more than they value LGBTQ lives and rights." There's this from a local Labour Party councillor in the UK who did organize a protest over the weekend. It's 2019 and we're still having to protest against homophobic laws that belong in the dark ages. And an Amnesty campaign crisis manager who's worked in Syria called the new law medieval, but also part of the growing authoritarianism we see globally. Joining us now is Phil Robertson of Human Rights Watch. Phil, is there anybody, any government or any organization that would be able to stop Brunei from carrying out these punishments?
The reality is no. There is nobody who can do that. I mean, I think that Brunei is susceptible to international pressure. I think that the boycott Brunei effort will have some efficacy. I do believe also that more hue and cry from the United Nations and from other governments are going to certainly impact Brunei's thinking about how to go forward with actually implementing this horrific law. But if they decide to do it tomorrow, if they line someone up, they could certainly follow through, and we would then face headlines across the world about someone being stoned to death in Brunei.
Tell us a little bit more about this country. Put it in context. Put this penal code in context.
Well, the Sultan is an absolute monarch. He's a dictator, really. I mean, his family has run the country for more than 5 decades. No one can really quite figure out why now he's decided to move forward with this criminal Sharia code. But it's entirely up to him, and he's the sole decision maker. What we're seeing here is it's a small country. It's about maybe 350,000 people. It's primarily dependent on oil exports. There's a little bit of tourism. There's some small. There's a small capital city, but it is predominantly Islamic. Probably better than 90% of the people are Muslim faith in the country, and the question is, are they going to be concerned about this? And in fact, will something happen that will then cause them some degree of discontent with their government?
Well, in many ways, you grabbed the question straight from my mouth, which is, do you have a sense of whether people welcome this new law at all?
Well, we have people who are defending Brunei, per se. That Brunei has the right to do what it wants, that it's a sovereign country. But we also have people who are from Brunei that we know who are fleeing the country or have already fled to seek asylum in the West because they're gay, or because they're perhaps engaged in a relationship with someone who they're not married to. There is also implications for people who are not Muslim. If they're engaged or involved with a Muslim and doing activities that are against this code, they can also be penalized. So, it's hard to say because it is, again, a dictatorship. People are afraid to speak up. They're afraid they'd face retaliation if they did. I think we'll have to let it play out for a while and see if they're actually serious about implementing this horrific penal code and these medieval punishments.
Phil Robertson, thank you.
Thank you.